Dark night high wind in the middle of the night. A hot girl is going on a date. Just as he was about to pass through suddenly a weird music box. In his way, curious, he stepped forward to check the situation. Then there was a sound behind him. He saw a mysterious man in a mask standing in front of him. The former hostess was a little scared and panicked back. But before I had gone a few steps, the music box began to ring again. A second later, the mysterious man jumped out, and then he took him down. She woke up from the bed. She was a little confused. Did you have a bad dream? But everything is so real. Until evening, when we passed the familiar road again, she knew something was wrong. Same place, the same music box appeared in front of me again. She's scared to turn her head and run. When he arrives at the rendezvous, something weird happened. When the lights came on, she knew she had hit the wrong person. It turns out today is her 18th birthday. It was a special surprise prepared by her classmates. A moment later she came to her friend's bedroom. As she focused on her phone, the real masked man showed up. The boy behind him was ambushed and went down. And the heroine did not notice. When I looked back and saw the masked man standing in front of me, he thought it was another classmate prank. But when I looked down, I realized something was wrong. She wanted to open the door and escape, only to be thrown back. Then the masked man pinned him to the bed, picked up the glass tube and stuck it in. She woke up from bed again, surprised to find what happened to him next. Just like yesterday. Same campus scene. Same boys harassing the same birthday cupcakes. The heroine was terrified. He ducked into his room and blocked the door with a cupboard and sealed the windows with nails. This time he decided not to go anywhere. Just when he thought it was safe, suddenly there was a noise in the toilet. The hostess was startled, walked slowly over with the hammer. But when he came out of the toilet again, there is the masked man again. Then a stab came through and pinned him to the door. The girl tried to go out without clothes for the first time. The beautiful scenery with no clothes on. The girl's jaw dropped when she saw it. The boys even popped their eyes out. The weak-willed one just passed out. The girl was not shy and made provocative gestures. Because after today, everyone else will lose that memory. He was unwittingly caught in a cycle of death. I wake up in the same place every day, going through the same things and meeting the same people, and then killed by a masked man. It doesn't matter what he does, knife in the eaves and drowning in the pool. Got hit by a car in a roadside fight with my best friend. Just when she was ready to accept the reality, an accident happened. She passed out before she could walk out the door. Wake up again, she appeared in the hospital. The doctor was confused. CT showed fatal injuries all over her body. She would have been gone by now. She realized that if this goes on, sooner or later, they will actually die. Realized the seriousness of the problem. He sneaked into the doctor's office, ready to take the car keys and run. But over and over. And then I found that weird mask. Just when he thought the doctor was a killer, the masked man appears again. She scared turned and ran. There is a killer in his wake. I managed to get into the car. The masked man came after him again. A blow shattered the window and put a stranglehold on his neck. Key moment. She threw the masked man out with a foot throttle. Thought we lost the killer. He started talking in the car. Little did she know that the police were onto her. The police arrested him for speeding. I'm gonna take it back to the station. But just then, suddenly a car knocked the policeman flying. The masked man calmly stepped out of the car. Make sure it's the girl in the car. Then threw out a small candle and light the gasoline. She followed the police car, was instantly blown up. Wake up again in the same place. It's the same story. But this time, she accidentally found the clue of the masked man. This girl is trapped in a death cycle. I wake up in the same place every day, meeting the same people, going through the same things, and then killed by the same masked man. But right after his 88th resurrection, but accidentally found a clue to the masked man. Broadcast on TV, a killer of teenage girls was taken to the hospital, and the masked man was at the same hospital yesterday. By the time he got to the hospital, it was too late. The policeman lay unconscious on the ground. She was scared to flee. You can escape to the elevator and wait for the elevator. The killer came up behind him again. The other took off his mask and smiled. See, she has no way to escape. Rising gun is about getting to know him. Then suddenly a boy came and tackled the killer. The pistol fell right in front of her. You pull the trigger and there is no bullets. All I could do was watch the boy die in front of me. I have no choice but to keep running. The killer chased him to the dark basement. The female master will dry it down before it is successfully attacked. Then he lifted the iron bar hard. But now he hesitated. If we kill each other now, the cycle ends immediately. The guy who just saved his life will actually die. Finally she decided to give up this opportunity. Plan a do-over. Soon the heroine is resurrected again. This time he's on target. Hand weapon, straight to the ward dot. But when he pulled the trigger, the safety was off. He knocked the gun off with a pillow. Put it around his neck. And then he slammed it to the ground. The lights go out just as they are about to kill. When the lights came back on a few seconds later, she appears behind him with a weapon in her hand. He thought the death cycle was over. Go back to the dorm and celebrate with the guy you love. But I woke up. The heroine is surprised to find that the death cycle has not ended. He was completely devastated, panicked, ran back to the dormitory to collect things and run. Then the roommate took out the cupcake again. The heroine suddenly realized this is the cupcake he ate last night. The cycle of death continues, which means he was poisoned by the cake. And the real masked man is the roommate. The previous killer just happened to be in the hospital where my roommate was doing his internship. So he became his scapegoat. Roommate thinks he's making it up and she let him eat the cake. The keyboard doesn't work and the roommate doesn't have it anymore. Turns out they were in love with the same man, and the man chose the woman. The roommate was not convinced, so he started killing. She tried to persuade, but now the roommate has lost his mind. He had pinned her down on the bed and tried to smother him. But the woman who died 100 times has been through a lot of battles. He landed a heavy blow on his opponent's throat while it's still breathing, shoved the poison cake in his mouth. Then one jumped, grabbed the chandelier and kicked him out the window.